So for the example that I want to give you and the exercise I want to give you for creating $10 million to come into your life, I want you to do this before you go to sleep at night, and it's very simple. You don't need to visualize. You don't need to believe. In this video, I'm going to reveal a secret about manifestation and how you can start using this in your life today. And I'm going to give you examples and I'm going to give you exercises on how you can start applying this in your life today. And you may have heard this before, but I'm going to explain this in a different way. That way it's going to click for you. You're going to understand the secret about manifestation and how to attract things and assume things that become facts in your world. And the difference between success and failure is when you look at things mentally or you look at things spiritually. And when you look at things mentally by comparing it with other things, you are going to fail 99% of the time when you're manifesting. But if you look at things spiritually and you think from it, you think from the thing and you think spiritually of the thing and you connect with it by becoming the thing, by becoming and shifting your personality and your concept of the person that you want to be or of the person of already having the things that you want. That is the secret to manifestation, but I'm going to give you some examples and I'm going to give you some exercises where you can start applying this in your life today. So I'm going to start off with an example of creating money into your life, and then I'm going to move into relationships and different material objects. That way you can understand how this works. Okay, so if you wanted to create or you wanted to manifest $10 million in your life within the next year or 2 years or even sooner than that, what you must understand is you must look at this spiritually and not mentally. So you got to stop comparing it and wondering how it's going to come, if it's going to come, do I deserve this? All these things come when you start thinking mentally. You start thinking with your ego. You start comparing it with this person, that person. This person had to do this to get it. This person had to do this to get it. And then you are disconnected from being the thing itself. But when you think about it spiritually, when you become the thing and you visualize or you affirm or you script of already having the thing, that's when you have spiritually become the thing and you will manifest it. So for the example that I want to give you and the exercise I want to give you for creating $10 million to come into your life, I want you to do this before you go to sleep at night, and it's very simple. You don't need to visualize, you don't need to believe, you don't need to script, you don't need to affirm. You're just going to do these simple steps that are going to take just a few minutes right before you go to sleep. And I've used this myself on many occasions, and it's worked for me almost every single time. Okay, so what you want to do is when you get relaxed, take some deep breaths, you're laying down, you're getting ready to sleep, you're laying down in a position that you wouldn't normally sleep in, that way you don't fall asleep right away. And I want you to ask yourself this question, and this is going to connect you spiritually because you're going to be in that state akin to sleep. So you're going to be conscious but unconscious at the same time. So take a few deep breaths and get into this meditative state where you're kind of, you still have the direction of your attention, but you're kind of in that drift state, where you're sleepy, but you still have control of the direction of your attention. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself this question. This is the $10 million question. Okay, so ask yourself, what would I feel like right now? But get yourself very present when you do this. You're very relaxed. You have disconnected from the outside world, and you're by yourself, and you're realizing in yourself, deep down within you, you're realizing that the world is spiritual, that the world is a hologram, the world is a simulation, and facts don't really matter, circumstances don't really matter, and that you can have anything that you want. So I want you to get into this state before you ask these questions. So work on this a little bit. Okay, so when you get into this state and you're going to complete relax, you've disconnected from the three-dimensional world in the hologram. Okay, so you're connecting with the spiritually. You ask yourself, what would I feel like? What would I feel like right now, if I had this $10 million? If I had this $10 million, where would I be living? What would I be thinking? What would I be feeling if I had this $10 million? Who would I be? Who would I be right now if I had the $10 million? What kind of car would I be driving? What house would I be living? What kind of relationship would I be in? What would I be feeling right now if this were true? If I had this $10 million right now, this were true, not tomorrow, not yesterday, right now, not next week, right now. I have $10 million right now. How do I feel? How does that feel? Who am I in this state? And then after you ask these questions like this, then I want you to meditate on that feeling state and then allow the pictures to come into your mind, because you're going to start getting pictures. Your imagination is going to go to work. God at work now. You're asking these questions, so your imagination at work is God at work. So God in your imagination is now going to work and creating these pictures in your mind, and you're going to be conscious of these pictures. And I want you to be conscious of these pictures, because your mind, your imagination is going to go ahead of the fact. It's going to go ahead of this now. It's going to start creating pictures of you doing things with this $10 million. Then it's going to be creating that feeling state. And then you're going to trick the subconscious mind to believe that you are now a millionaire, a multimillionaire with this $10 million. And I want you to do this for about 30 seconds every time you ask this question. And I want you to ask this question about 5 times. And each time you ask the question, I want you to get in that feeling state and allow about 30 seconds to pass as you're just absorbing this into the subconscious in this state akin to sleep, as you're going into the drift and impressing the subconscious mind with this new feeling. Who would I be right now if I had this $10 million? What would I feel? What would I be doing? Who would I be? Like, who would you be? Who would you be right now if you had the $10 million? How would you talk? How would you dress? What would you go buy? Like, what would you be doing? Like, you think about everything. Nothing is limited to you. You're an unlimited being, a completely unlimited being, and you're creating this state based on your knowledge of quantum physics, that the world we're living is a simulation and it's a hologram, and that circumstances don't matter. The only thing that matters is how you react to those circumstances. Are these good things that are happening to you, or are they bad things that are happening to you? And then you create your world and shift to different realities based on your reaction to those circumstances. So circumstances only matter when you react negatively to them. But if you look at them as if this is a hologram, which it is, then you have looked at it in that way, and then it's going to transform you to that world where you can manifest anything. And this is a secret with manifestation, is becoming the thing itself, thinking spiritually and not mentally. And then you become and transfer to a world where that is just the way that it becomes. And leave a comment. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.
I go into these states.